A few years ago, I started dragging home old Carnival rides that were destined for the scrapyard. My goal was to restore them so that my grandkids could enjoy them before they got too big for them. This one is a 50-year-old rocket ride, and we're working on the least glamorous part of the whole project, the electrical panel. It's a salvaged cabinet, it's full of holes, and somehow it's supposed to make this ride run. This electrical cabinet had a hole where a large pipe nipple was originally installed. I tried to patch it up, but I wasn't happy with how the weld was coming out, so instead decided to cut the entire side off and cover it with a replacement stainless steel panel. Well, that's halfway done. I think we need to drill another hole, though. These Hoffman boxes are pretty expensive, so even with the time I have invested into this, I'm still way ahead of the game. Let me get my magnet doodad. Alright, let me get a file and go around this. This guy can go here. I think that'll work just fine. I'm going to use the same epoxy primer on the electrical cabinet that we've been using on the rest of the ride. This will seal up the metal and let me address any scratches that might be there. I'm using the paint booth at my day job here, and I didn't know it, but somebody had cranked up the pressure to 150 psi. I felt like something was wrong, but I couldn't figure out what it was. Alright, we're going to have a little more fun painting. Specifically the electrical cabinet, but also the motor and the gearbox are all going to be painted this silver color. This is another polyurethane paint. I'm really curious to see how it comes out. That is a lot of sparkle. And this is a 4-to-1. We're just going to go easy on it and see how much coverage we get. Let's try not to make a mess. Yeah, we're right at 2. I'll get my mask on. We'll get our camera moved outside. This is just some white paint from a rattle can to brighten up the interior. Nice. With the cabinet and primer, I had to wait for paint to dry, which is always dangerous because it gives me time to think up clever ideas. There were still a few rusty ride parts that needed cleaned up, and this top crown seemed like the perfect candidate for the laser. Since it's round, I thought, why not stick it in the lathe and let the lathe turn it slowly? In my head, this was brilliant. In real life, not so much. Problem number 1, the lathe still turned too fast. The laser needs time to scan the surface, and even at the slowest speed, the part was moving faster than the laser could really do its job. So I tried using the lathe less like a lathe and more like a rotary vise, and that solved the speed problem but created a new one. Burning old paint and rust inside an unventilated shop is a terrible idea. So the clever lathe setup got retired almost immediately, and the rest of the laser cleaning moved outside, where the smoke and fumes had somewhere better to go than in my lungs. I really enjoy using the laser cleaner function. It's very satisfying to watch. It also is a lot easier on my air compressor than using my sandblaster. This is the top of the tower, and I had previously primed it, but obviously I did a really bad job because it picked up a lot of rust. I do wish the laser beam was a little bit wider, it could cover more ground, but that's literally my only complaint. Xlaserlabs provided this machine for the channel, and I really appreciate their support. If you're interested in adding a laser welder to your own shop, follow the QR code on the screen or click the link down in the video description. The channel may earn a commission from any sale, and that helps keep projects like this moving. Alright, now that I got all these parts clean, I needed to lock it in with our direct-to-metal epoxy primer so the rust doesn't set in again. I figured out the previous air pressure problem, and I have it back down to a more respectable level. I'm repriming the gearbox because I noticed on the paint can it specifically said not to use it over self-etching primer, and we did in fact use self-etching primer on the gearbox, so I'm going to seal it in with the epoxy. I'm hoping that's enough to mitigate whatever issue might occur. These are looking good. Silver, silver, purple, silver, 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 purple. We got a lot of stuff to paint, so let's, how much do we want to use here? If you've been following the project for a while, you no doubt recognize this as the electrical panel that we built for the ride. I decided that we need to change out this drive for the motor. So this drive was something that I had won at a charity auction. This drive allows us to run a 1 horsepower 3-phase motor off of 120 volts AC, which seems like a great idea. The problem is, in order to pull off that little trick, it consumes a lot of current. A potential initial draw of like 50 amps, which is not very convenient from the standpoint of not knowing where I might want to run this thing from. So I decided it would be better off to get a drive. It'll take 240 volt single phase and run a 1 horsepower motor. So I have acquired that, and as you can see, it's actually much smaller because it doesn't have to do nearly as much work. So we're going to swap this out. It means we can also swap out some of this heavy wiring. I think this is all 8 gauge. We can drop that to 12 gauge. And I think in the end I'll just be happier that way. It'll make for a system that will be much easier to find power for on a more reliable basis. This drive is great for a home shop if you want to run a piece of 3-phase machinery with a 1 horsepower motor and you don't have access to 3-phase power. This will run it for you. Gonna have to do new mounting holes and everything. These wires should all be the same. Let's figure out where this is going. We got 1 screw that'll line up. So our long reach marker here. And an 832 tap. That was easy. Now that I finally have the correct jaws in my crimper for these heat shrink terminals, they work a whole lot better. It was at this point I realized I forgot to label these new wires, so I had to take a step back. I love that this printer can make these heat shrink labels so much better than my chicken scratch on handwritten labels. Alright, I got the wiring all swapped over. Do need to change this breaker. No longer needs to be a 50 amp breaker. We'll get to that. I keep pushing on these rides because I want my grandkids to be able to enjoy them while they're still small enough, and that window of opportunity is rapidly decreasing. When one of my grandkids comes out here and spends time with me in the shop, I realize that the finished project is not really the big picture. Even if we're just cleaning something, that time counts too. I still want to see them all riding this thing, but working with them on it along the way is pretty hard to beat. This is going to be the box that holds all the electronic stuff for the Carnival ride. Mm-hmm. And this panel is going to be where the power comes in, right here. And we need to bolt this to the side there. Let's see if you can get that to turn.
Wait a minute, does it go like that way?
Yep, keep going. There you go, you got it. Might help if we had a little bit bigger screwdriver.
Yeah.
And try to put one in each hole and just get them started for now. Yeah. You need to get them all in before you tighten them. Uh-oh.
Where did that go?
I don't know, don't worry about it. Just get another one, we have plenty.
Yeah, plenty. Do I just put that in first? Then
You like the silver color?
Yeah.
With the sparkles in it?
Yeah. Gonna need to put them on when we're done.
Yeah. We'll get them all in first and then we'll tighten them up when we're done. There you go, you got it.
There. I need another one. You go really fast.
Well, I've had a lot of experience putting screws in.
Oh yeah. Are we gonna put in the yellow switch today?
Yeah, we can put the yellow switch in.
It's really hard to put this one in.
Okay, I think we did good.
Where is the yellow switch?
I have it over here somewhere. I think if I hold this on the outside, like this,
screw it in.
You could screw it in, yeah. Just crawl in there. Let me know when you're on it. You on it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and see if try tighten it up.
You're pushing it.
Well, it's okay. You tighten.
I'm pushing you.
Yep, you push back.
Yes, that's good.
Okay, now get the other one in right here.
Fighting and I'm winning.
It's fighting and you're winning?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, the next thing we can do is get the door put back together. Here. That's what we need.
Double-sided tape?
Double-sided tape.
Okay, let me open it. And I can peel it.
Yep. Yeah, we need to cut it like right
Right
there, yep. Oh, hold on. Try again. Oh, those scissors aren't going to work. Try these scissors.
Whoa,
these are medical scissors. They cut pretty much anything. There you go.
Look.
Okay, that's one side. We'll put all the tape in first, then we'll put the rubber strips in.
Yeah.
So 2 of them are longer and 2 of them are shorter.
Oh.
So you need to figure out which is which. And if you hold them up side by side, you can see which is long and which is short.
Oh yeah, this is the long one, this is the short one.
Okay.
So I'm going to put the long ones over here. No, the short one's over there.
There you go.
I'm like making sure it's all taped up.
Yeah, now we want to cut it right here.
Yeah, I almost picked up the ones that don't cut.
These are the short ones, right?
Yeah.
Those are the long ones? We'll do the long ones first.
I got it.
And peel that off. Okay, peel that the whole way.
Got
okay, now we'll start this here in the corner. You hold that down. I'm going to stretch this to reach that side. And now we push it the whole way.
There. It's on.
Yep, that's pretty good. Now we'll do the other long one over here. Move that all the way to the corner there.
Okay, so
You're in? Okay, I'll do this. Okay. Stretch it so it reaches all the way to the other one there. Yep. And then once it's in, push it down.
Now we can do the other side.
Yep.
I can just pick it with my nails. Yeah.
Okay, now we can put that door back on the box that we were working on.
Okay.
This is the hinge here.
Yeah.
It's gonna connect to that. Yep.
That was easy.
Oh, I hit my button. Take this pin
And put
and
it
it's
down
gonna go
there.
in the hinge and right into the next part. There we go. That's it. It's all the way in. Well, unfortunately, I put the cart a bit before the horse when we put that panel on because I forgot to put any sealant under it. So I had to take it back off after Jamie left. Got a really nice squeeze out here. I think we're just going to let that go. Form a nice rain seal at the top. Yeah, this stuff supposedly sticks to almost anything. It says so right there. And you can paint on it with both latex and oil-based paints. So just a few more things I need to do so I can put this thing to bed. I need 2 more holes over here to mirror these 2 holes here. Those are going to be for our 4 light channels. Our motor connectors here, that's fine. This is going to be for our multi-pin connector that goes out to the operator station. That needs to be enlarged. So 2 more holes and enlarge this one. Let's see what we're measuring. Try a little deburring. Wow. That's a nice fit. We just need to add these 2 holes here, mimic them over there. Put some tape on here. That's where our holes are going. What if we try this? Last thing I want to do though is lay this flat and do another coat of silver paint because of the way we painted it the first time where it was laying we missed all of this. I think I'm going to put in 1 more hole right here to give us a spot for the tower floodlights. Back in the paint booth, we flipped all the parts to get the undersides, and I also touched up that area on the electrical cabinet I mentioned. Well, I do believe it's time to get this motor back together now that we've got it all painted. Peel this tape off of here. Very nice. We're all the way through. Go on. That motor is ready to go on the ride. I wonder where the little pulley is. I haven't seen that in a while. That should have been painted. I like it. Now it's time to get this put back together. This guy's going in first. This is for our motor. This connector is a little bit overkill, but I wanted to reuse an existing hole I had in the cabinet. We could have got away with a much smaller connector here, but we didn't exactly get to pick the size we wanted. This is for our chaser lights. There's going to be 4 of these. This is for our tower lights. And maybe, just maybe, we'll be feeding a slip ring so that we can get lights out on our rounding boards. Looking very industrial, huh? This we're going to need to drill some holes for. Yeah, we're tight there. This has rubber seal. That covers it. Oh yeah. Okay. Beautiful. And this is Chase. I should have probably given this some thought before applying sealant to this, but oh well. That's what right angle screwdrivers are for. I've had this guy forever. Came out of the old Brookstone catalog. Probably back in the 90s. I'll leave some extra. Always cut it off. Sure is hard to add it though. I've always heard it's better to be looking at it than looking for it. So that looks good. This is our white. Kind of like this wire. Okay, that should be good. This needs to come up like this, because it's going to go into that disconnect. So this might as well follow it. Bring it in there like that. I could do it that way. Let's get some tie wraps on it. That's better. We're going to bring this down. The one last thing I want to do before continuing is swap out this breaker. This was a 50 amp breaker, which was what we needed for our original drive, and we don't need anything nearly that big now. So we're going to swap it out. Ideally, I'd like a 30 amp, but I don't have access to a 30 right now. So we're going to put a 25 in, and if need be, we can always change it. Okay. Let's take the shunt module off. Beautiful. And we pop this out. With the electrical cabinet finally coming together, the ride's one step closer to being a machine again. But before I can start putting things back where they belong, there's still a few leftover pieces that need to get their purple color.
Now we stir.
All right, it's the next day and I just got all these flipped over, but they are looking awesome. I love how hard this paint dries. The ride still doesn't run yet, but it's starting to look a whole lot less like a pile of parts and a lot more like a ride. I need to keep moving forward, but there is a bigger project looming in the background. If I'm going to keep bringing these rides back to life, I need a bigger workshop to work on them in. And that means permits and drawings and stormwater plans and a whole lot of things that weren't on my bingo card as a child. So if you don't want to miss any of that, click that link to the left and come along for the ride.